I'm Danielle Fitzpatrick Clark here from Influence Builder. And today we're going to talk about perfectionism and self-sabotage. So a little bit of entrepreneurial mindset work for you and some of the things that go on that are so behind the scenes, but yet so in the front of us. And they keep us stuck and they keep us blocked and just not moving forward, or at least seemingly not moving forward. So, what are some of these things? Well, perfectionism is a really big one. I usually liken it to a mask, a mask. I don't want to say it's just an excuse because I think that people really do get themselves caught up in a loop. And I do too. We all do. We all can hesitate and second guess and not show up as authentically as we possibly can. And it's just part of the growth of being an entrepreneur. So, there's always got to be a mindset along with strategy. I have not met an entrepreneur or a business owner to this day that doesn't at least have some kind of a balance between the two. So a lot of what I do is strategy. I'm very much a tangible entrepreneur. We work on tangibles. We work on showing people how to get things done in digital. And also, a lot of my clients, especially my one-on-one clients, they come to me with things that are not tangible. They come to me with, this is how I'm feeling, Danielle, or, why can't I get this to work? Or why am I not getting the clients? What am I doing wrong? And you can already hear it with what they're saying and what am I doing wrong? They're coming to me in self-judgment. So they're very much judging themselves, being super hard on themselves. And people will always tell you what they are saying to themselves and not out loud. So when someone says, what am I doing wrong? I guarantee underneath it, and for the ones of us that can talk to ourselves really well, they are going down a nice little spiral of negative self-talk. So yes, people come to me for that too. And of course, if you've been in the industry for any amount of time, people are going to want to know, how did you move through these feelings? How did you move through these situations, these events, and still come out on the other side? And what I like to tell everybody is that, well, for me, and I was given this advice from an entrepreneur much wiser than me, who has been around very much longer than me, that said, well, Danielle, if you got to do something, even if it's self-sabotage or negative self-talk, do it right. Man, he knew my personality. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna, beat up on yourself, at least give 110%. I'm like, well, you know what? That resonates because if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna go all in. So when I'm done going all in, then it's time to come out of it. And it's not always easy. It takes some time. But one of the things when it comes down to perfectionism is it really perfectionism? So I like to ask people, I'm like, are you really trying to be perfect? Are you really trying to have it just right? Or maybe it's the alternative. Maybe you're just so nervous about being wrong, or maybe you're just not trusting yourself and the ideas that you have and the things that you're putting into motion. It may not be about it has to be perfect before it goes, it meaning product, program, um, course, all of that. It may not have to be perfect. It may be that you need to feel perfect before you do something, or you need to feel 100% certain that it's going to work before you're willing to put it out there. Because to you, in those moments, it may feel like, if this doesn't go the way that I expect it to, then everything I've worked for is for naught, or everything that I've done is for naught, or everything that I've sacrificed. And if it doesn't perform the way that I believe it should in this way, then I am not worthy. So I like to tell people, what does perfectionism really mean when you say it has to be perfect before it goes out? It's usually not about the it, it's usually about the me, meaning you, inward. So then I like to tell people, I'm like, okay, so if it's about that, and if it's about it has to be this way, or I have to be this way, and I have to feel whole before I put something out, then my ask to you is, okay, so what if you're not? What if we're actually always working towards being whole and integrated, or whatever that means to you? And that instead of it, you having to feel whole or 100%, instead, you just have to feel good about the fact that no matter how it goes, I'm going to be okay. So that's the other thing that I ask people. I'm like, what if it's not about being 100% confident and sure? What if it's just knowing that no matter what happens, you are going to be okay. You are safe. A lion's not going to come out from around the corner and eat you up if your course doesn't go well and doesn't sell. What if that is your new truth? What is really and most of, and this is the thing, guys, it is not the end of the world if a course doesn't sell. It's not the end of the world if a group doesn't bring in anybody, and it's certainly not the end of the world if you put out content without anybody liking it. We've all done it. We've all put something out there that was not received or well received. Everyone has. It's almost like a rite of passage. Now, where it makes a difference is your actions after those things happen. When the unexpected happens, or when the ideal doesn't form, the next step is, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to relate to yourself? What are you going to say to yourself if it doesn't happen? The ones that keep going and have the resilience and have worked on growth mindset, they say, all right, that didn't go quite as planned. What do I do now? What do I do now? Where do I improve? What didn't go well and what did go well? So this is a lot. This is a lot of growth mindset. This is a lot of leadership mindset. And it's really kind of stepping into that place of there's always a solution. It may not be right in front of my face, but there is a solution. So on the entrepreneurial journey, owning a business, doing things that you're uncomfortable with, there's a lot of growth within that space. In fact, I I would actually say that the entrepreneurial journey is one of the most transformational journeys that you can possibly have. It doesn't matter what your business is. It doesn't matter if you're tangible like me or if you are intangible and work with human skills, um, like therapy, life coaching, those things. It doesn't matter. One is not more transformational than the other. It is all transformational when you're stepping out and doing things that you don't normally do. When you're breaking the patterns of your regular day, your regular cycle, and you're doing new things, or you're looking at the growth that you've had, or you're looking at yourself differently, that is transformation. That is growth. That happens when you're building a business. Even when we fail, we are still growing. We're learning. I mean, think about toddlers. You think about babies. They crawl, and if they can't get it, they don't give up. They may cry. I know they definitely cry. I've had 3 babies myself. They'll cry, but they'll keep going because it doesn't even occur to them that they can't do it. So they keep getting up, crawling, then they get to a crawl and they start standing up. And when they stand up, they start walking. They fall down a lot. They fall down a lot and they keep getting up and going. It's the same thing. It is part of the journey. It's part of the growth. Business growth, entrepreneurship is very transformational. It is required if you're going to continue. So, the trap of perfectionism. I have to ask everybody, I'm like, what does it really mean to you? And then why not? Why not step into being whole right now? Or even if you don't feel whole, just have a knowing that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. It always ends up working out the best for us. And it's really, I get it. It's really tough to be in that place while you're in it. It really is. I understand that. It's a lot to ask somebody to step right into it. And what I like to say is that you don't have to be 100% confident in yourself or that it's going to be okay. What you can do is you can step into what's okay for me right now. What's going really well for me right now? What do I feel good about even in a crappy situation? Or what do I feel really good about even though I haven't made a single sale in my course? And it's usually very, very small things. So, one of the things that my clients have done, I'm like, well, what feels really good right now about having a course done? And yes, they had a course, they hadn't sold anything into it at that moment. They sold a lot later on. And they said, well, it feels really good to have a course done. Feels really good to put together my brilliance and put it out there. That feels really good. I'm like, well, that's a win then. And what are you learning right now while you're in this period of trying to sell your course? And they're like, well, I'm learning the things that I did well, which was putting it together, and the things that I didn't spend time on, which was I actually didn't market myself and I didn't put myself out there enough. And I probably could have done a couple more things. I'm like, great, that's good to know. Is there any reason why you can't start doing those things today? Of course, the answer was no. Yes, they went forward and they started doing those things and then they ended up selling. They ended up selling the course, they ended up selling it to a lot of people, and then they ended up finding new ways to sell the course. So that's where we move. So the trap of perfectionism is only our own man-made trap, our own mind-made trap, actually. And the way out is actually not out, it's through. And the way through is just finding the little wins, even if you feel like you're in a big loss, or even if you feel like you're up against the wall and nothing's going your way. Something is going your way. Something is always going your way. Something is always happening for you. Even if it doesn't feel like that, there's always something happening for you. Even if it's just that you're learning and that you are growing through failure. Like, I really don't believe failure isn't a negative. Failure is just a rite of passage. Failure is a learning moment. Failure is information. So when we can start really looking at what we're doing, what we're putting out there, how we're showing up and learning from that and just stepping into improvement, like I'm learning, I'm going to improve next time. I know what's working and I know what's not working. So I hope that supports you guys. I love talking mindset. I love talking the entrepreneurial journey. So if there's anything that you guys are stuck with, leave me a quick note. Let me know what's happening for you, what's coming up for you. Um, maybe it's not perfection, and maybe it's just I can't figure out how to do this, or I don't understand what's going on with my messaging, or I don't know what program to put out there or how to price my programs. There's so many little pieces that when we're putting together our businesses, we often just need a little support or a little perception shift. So you got to let me know what you want to hear from me for, and I'm happy to put a video out there for you and come live in the group. And of course, we've got some really phenomenal things coming down the pipeline. So I did put a teaser out there yesterday asking you guys if you would be interested in learning how to do LinkedIn Live. Yay, right? LinkedIn Live. So any of you guys who have ideal clients on LinkedIn, this would be a really wonderful opportunity for you to get LinkedIn Live. And we do have some ways that are working extremely well for our clients and for us too. We have LinkedIn Live. So, and you guys may be watching us on LinkedIn Live actually. So we have that going on. We also have a wonderful 10-day hack coming up. And then in October, we do have a live event, and we're just about ready to launch all that and showcase all these amazing things that are coming down the pipeline. So keep an eye out. And again, ask questions, give me any comments, give me some love below. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.